Hey, welcome back to Gaming and the Gospel. I got a new cohort with me today, another Dave. It seems this book has brought out all the Daves, and David Calvert isn't with me today, but I have David Klingler with me today. So, hi, Dave.
Hey, Dave.
Thanks for being on, man. And you want to tell our audience a little bit about you and just like what you do and what you're about?
Sure. Yeah, I'm Dave, so that's not confusing at all. And yeah, I'm a game developer, longtime gamer, mentor game developers, new game developers, and yeah, done a lot of speed runs, a bunch of different games. Used to play in a lot of tournaments and stuff like that when I was younger, and you could say I'm semi-retired, but I still do like some speed running on the side.
Oh, I see him do it all the time. If there is a arcade machine, he's just like, yep, gotta go get the high score.
It's a compulsion, maybe, yeah. But yeah, and as far as arcade games, I love the classic arcade games. I wasn't even born yet, but that's my era of like ideal game design, I think.
Yeah, indeed. Yeah. And man, you've made it to some kill screens, right?
Yeah, for Donkey Kong anyway. Yeah,
man,
yeah.
That is no joke.
Yeah, I haven't done a Pac-Man kill screen yet, but I hope to do that. Yeah.
Which one's harder?
Probably Donkey Kong. It's just I haven't spent nearly as much time on Pac-Man, I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
That may be an arguable thing, but yeah, at least with Pac-Man, it's a little more deterministic. Donkey Kong, there's so much randomness. I think that adds to the challenge to get to the kill screen. Yeah.
Indeed, man. Yeah. Well, like me and probably 99% of the world, I can't get past level 1. So
that's most games of Donkey Kong. Yeah. Yeah. And that's not always your fault. I mean, the game is pretty wild. So yeah.
Yeah. Well, cool. Today we are discussing chapter 7, 007, which is slappers only.
Slappers only.
Yeah. You get that reference?
GoldenEye.
Yeah, man. Yep. Old Odd Job, Random Task. Yeah, fun fact about GoldenEye, man, they developed the multiplayer side of that like 3 months before release.
Yeah.
It was stupid.
Crazy.
It was just like, let's do multiplayer on top of a really great single player game.
And even on top of that, a lot of the people who worked on GoldenEye, that was their first game. Like, insane. Absolutely insane. Yeah.
Yeah, you can really see the results of that, like when you watch. That's why there's no animation for the crouching. If you crouch and you see someone crouch, it just kind of scoot across the screen.
I didn't remember that. That's funny.
They didn't have time to program it. It wasn't there.
Right. That's funny. Yeah, the NPCs don't care if you're moving while you're crouching. Yeah.
No, they don't care. Oh man, this chapter talks a lot about LAN parties in particular. You know, connecting PCs over Ethernet cables and switches, and having to reinstall Windows and drivers, which is really part of the LAN experience. Really, if you haven't reinstalled your operating system in a LAN party, you have not done it right.
Yeah, it may not be fun in the moment, but looking back, those are fun memories. Yeah.
Oh man, yeah, sharing files and movies and
legally sharing files.
Oh yes, legally. Yes, very legally.
Completely legally.
Yeah, I don't know if I talk about it in this chapter or it's a footnote somewhere or one of David Calvert's Easter eggs. I had a roommate in college who used Napster on our Token Ring network.
Buythingsformoney.com.
Uh-huh. And one day IT came to our dorm and handed him a sheet of paper with a pie chart, and this pie chart kind of looked like Pac-Man pretty much, you know, like it was like 75%, maybe 80% all the way. And you're like, this larger section is you and all the bandwidth that you're taking by hosting files on Napster.
Yeah. Wow.
I think and that's old Sean Young Traumatico. I think he still has it somewhere. I'm sure he's framed it.
Wow.
Yeah. Well, speaking of LAN parties, Dave, we just had a killer LAN party at the Playthrough convention in Raleigh, North Carolina at the Convention Center.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah. You want to talk to us a little bit about Playthrough?
Oh, man. Playthrough. Yeah, Playthrough Gaming Convention is each year, barring 2020, of course, each year in Raleigh, North Carolina. And the people that run playthrough are absolute champions. I mean, they lost so much money in 2020. The first year was 2016.
Okay.
And, I was there. In fact, fun fact, I was the very first registration ever for playthrough, which I didn't know until many years into it.
And what's the guy's name? Tim?
Yeah, Tim Howell.
Tim Howell.
He's the main man, boss man in charge of playthrough, and yeah, the guy's an absolute champion, and he loves gaming so much. I mean, in 2020 they lost so much money because the convention center basically shut down everything, and it was supposed to be in March.
Oh wow. Yeah, right at the time.
Yeah, and so Tim texted me the night right before my birthday. This is 11:30 at night or something, and he's like, "Look, I wanted you to hear it from me first. The convention center is canceling all the events. We can't do playthrough, but we're still gonna do next year. Don't worry.
Man.
So they have a deeper reason why they want to do this convention. They're not just trying to make a butt ton of money. They're trying to make money, but it's they know that this is something people really need, and so that's the kind of view that I want to see when people run conventions. Is they're we know people need this, and so we want that for them.
Yeah, I love being at playthrough and watching all the families walking around, all the moms and dads taking their kids, showing them all these old retro things and new things too, because there's a tons of booths with new developers.
Yeah,
trying to get their exposure out there, but it's really great to see them come to the multiplayer area, which you ran, and you invited me to 2 years ago to do a crazy thing, to run a Quake II remastered tournament.
And it was glorious.
It was glorious. So just so you can imagine it, it's like a square of tables with all these retro consoles from Wii's to GameCubes to NES's. No Genesis. Did we have any Genesis out there?
We have several Genesis consoles. I don't remember if we had those running last year, but we had one this year for Mortal Kombat.
Yeah, and the previous year you ran a Mario Kart and Smash tournament too.
Yeah, we had some other adjacent tournaments, Smash Melee, and we had Mario Kart Gauntlet, so all the console iterations of Mario Kart.
Yeah. And those are exciting, but tell me, why were you so excited about a Quake tournament?
I mean, Quake 3 that's my favorite competitive game of all time, and I'm more experienced with 3, but with Quake 2, it's still Quake, and you still got the railgun, you still got the rocket launcher, and the Quake series is just absolutely so special to me, and so getting to see people, and a lot of them playing for the first time. They had never played a Quake game,
we had a lot of kids just walking up and just sitting down and playing it, and
and they got a grasp on it, and that to me is just absolutely beautiful. So
And the previous year we did a Quake 2 remastered because Quake they remastered Quake 2, and it really good remake, and they also did that for Quake 1, but they didn't need to do that for Quake 3 because it was already many iterations for Quake 3. And this year we did a Quake 3 tournament, and I brought some of the retro PCs in my basement from the Potato Land over here, and we did a tournament, and we had a guy last year who won the Quake 2 tournament,
Forte,
who goes by Forte. Yeah, and really great player, very intelligent. He plays how I like to think that I play is very defensively in a one-on-one environment of he really understands controlling the map. And
he doesn't even care about confronting his opponent. Even at the beginning of the game, he doesn't even bother. The only times he fights is when the opponent ends up in a choke point where he's going to get an item. That's it. He doesn't approach at all.
It is just, it's so great to connect with him and everybody else that come to the tournament. Every time when we did Quake 2 and we did Quake 3, it really kind of got up right to the moment we were going to start the tournament. Is anybody going to show up?
Right.
And then all of a sudden, they all, there they are. And there'll be 12 of them. And they're like, all right, cool, let's do a tournament. And they hang out for the whole time of playthrough. Do this tournament.
Pretty much the whole day. Yeah.
Whether they know they are committing to that or not, but they have, and they all stay.
I think they had a great time too.
Yeah. Yeah, and this year we did Quake 3 and on actual hardware of the era and had pretty equal PC power wise.
Yeah,
so
all the same mice, all the same mouse pads. Yeah,
man, I was pretty happy about that. And we watched Forte do his thing, and we had another Dave.
Yeah, Davidicus the Wise got second
Oh,
place.
I was thinking even another one who was.
You're talking about Dave Holt.
Dave Holt,
right.
You guys, man,
we met at Playthrough years ago. Yeah,
man,
yep.
It really this warmed the cockles of my heart to watch you guys' comment. We hooked up a little speaker, and you guys just went at it.
Oh man, I had the time of my life, dude. Yeah, shoutcasting with Dave Holt was absolutely glorious because. Yeah, I mean, I did kind of the technical commentary because I played a lot.
The technical analysis.
Yeah, a lot more of the Quake series than Dave Holt had, but man,
well,
Dave Holt's hilarious.
Had almost no experience with it.
Sure. Yeah, he's like the little blasty gun. It's like, okay, that's the plasma gun.
Yeah, I'm working on a recap video, and so be on the look for that on the NEBTHOS channel. We'll.
I'm looking forward to that, man. That's gonna be awesome. That's a great memory, man. Yeah. And the Quake II one, I mean, I revisit that video sometimes, or the little short recap vertical videos you did of that. Man. Like I revisit those sometimes.
Yeah. Well, Dave, what do you think of this chapter? What kind of stuck out to you when reading this chapter about? Really just getting together and gaming together, and just how important it is to have a crew around you, have people around you that you can trust. Yeah.
Well, I'm glad that this was the chapter designated for me to be on the podcast with you, because this may have been my favorite chapter. It really touches on something that is really important to me with, not just with gaming, but just with life in general, and certainly with Christianity. I think that my old friend Joel West, he was one of the best Berserk players in the world, one of the best Frenzy players in the world, and actually also had, I think it actually still stands, he has the Rocky pinball machine world record. He wasn't even really a pinball player, but he was a huge fan of Rocky. And so when that came out, he just like blasted out a world record on that. Anyway,
you could say Joel, he had the eye of the tiger.
He certainly had that. But yeah, the late Joel West, he one of the things that he used to say about gaming all the time was iron sharpens iron as one gamer sharpens another. So obviously he's referencing Proverbs there, where iron sharpens iron as a friend sharpens a friend. But yeah, I think he's absolutely right. That, I think, is so key for what makes gaming not only worthwhile, but even like really helpful for so many people. Yeah. It's a positive thing. I mean, there are things where gaming can easily become negative. Yeah. But as far as the iron sharpening iron, that's something that we need as humans, you know? And I think that games do that in such a unique way. Well, I'm finding as I'm getting older, us guys, it's hard for us to get together. Sure. Just like we're kind of islands. The older we get. And gaming is a way for us to come back together and to spend time to be side by side. That's why I love the LAN Party setup. Oh, it's man, like you are side by side with someone. Physically next to them, right? Yeah, and you can punch them. They are within arm's reach. If it comes to that, yeah. Yeah, and that's slappers only, I guess. Yeah, that is slappers only right there. Yeah, Yeah, that's a good point too. I mean, because connecting online is one thing. That's not nothing. Yeah, I mean that's still valuable. Yeah. But connecting in person, there's something to that can't be digitized. Yeah. Yeah, and I don't think that will ever change. And I know there are a lot of people who get a lot of value and maybe almost all of their social interactions online. Sure. You know, and we definitely do not want to discredit that. Yeah, no way. But, that's still really valuable, and we need that. Any kind of connection like that, we need that. But even in person, like when I had messed up my back earlier this year, you invited me to the Potato Land, and it's like, you know what? I need that. Yeah. And it hurt to go down the stairs, but it was worth it, man. It was worth it. So, and next time you can just come around the back here, come through the back door. Man, I didn't even know that was an issue for you. You didn't even let on, man. Yeah, well, man. I had a great time. So. I'm glad I wasn't thinking about my back. Yeah. Yeah. And I know folks that
play online, and then they have meetups and they meet in person,
Right.
and that deepens the relationship. So
And that was where I met you, was the Triangle Monthly Gaming meetup.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Haven't been doing that for a few months, but hopefully that'll resume at some point again soon. And yeah, because I like doing that. Started that. I don't even remember the first year for that, but yeah.
Yeah, what was kind of the spark behind that?
That was back to the iron sharpens iron, as one gamer sharpens another. It was just, I wanted to, it's basically an outreach to the gaming community, but it's not like the fake gaming meetup disguised, it's a Bible study disguised as a gaming meetup. It's not like that. This is purely a gaming meetup, and it's for people to basically, experience gaming. Whether you're a Christian or not, most of the people that go to it aren't believers.
Mm-hmm.
But it's just to show that there's community crossover there that's still legitimate, and the friendships there are real. It's not just like, some church thing. Yeah. Yeah,
I always appreciate the little seeds that you drop during that, and you have some scripture on the board, and and then you pray before we eat our pizza.
Right.
It's a little thing,
Yeah.
And I think, coming up to someone and asking them, like, well, hey, how can I pray for you? That's like the easiest in, for the gospel. And they can say no and be like, okay, that's cool.
Yeah, sometimes they're like, everything's great. And I'm like, wow, well, maybe you need to pray for me.
Indeed. Well, let's talk a little bit about the labels a little bit. I drew some of that, majority of that from my time with Dare to Dream, which is a program that would go into schools and have a little talk with kids and about, pursuing their dreams and having the right group of people around them. And would talk about this label thing. They would put stickers, sticky notes on it. And
so you would write the sticky notes?
Like the speaker would write the things that he would think about himself, and and then wipe them off and be like, these fall off, these aren't permanent. And I kind of expanded on that, just like thinking through, just like, well, God writes it on our DNA, like when He redeems us, it's like you are loved, you are my child, and those are the things that don't fall off. Don't go away. But like being like the best in Quake or a YouTuber or influencer, like I have 1,000 followers or whatever it is, that's just like sticky notes you put up there, and like it's going to fall off.
Especially the numeric things like that.
Yeah.
Whenever it's like, I'm number 1 or I've got this much. Yeah.
Everything fades.
Yeah. Yeah.
There will always be someone better than you.
Yeah.
And that's got to be hard for speed running, for sure. Like, I'm going to set this time, but one day.
Right. Yep.
Some dude's going to find the glitch.
Right. Yep. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, how have labels impacted you?
I think, especially earlier in my life, they affected me really, really deeply. And I think that I was at a point when I was a teenager, especially, where I tried to compensate for my lack of value in myself that I saw by just doing things that were really difficult, or just things that I was good at. And so I was basically trying to compensate with achievement, which seems to make so much sense in the world's way of doing things, but I took it to an extreme, and it even obviously went into gaming, where it's like, oh, well, when you, and so you end up putting your worth, your identity of who you are in the outcome of a game. Yeah. And so it makes the game not as enjoyable, that's for sure.
Yeah, isn't that a terrible feeling when the game like changes for you?
Yeah.
It becomes like work or like some obligation.
Yeah, and I think to the most extreme extent that happened to me with chess, and chess I think it might be the greatest game ever made. I don't know, but it's certainly an amazing game. And I had gotten to a point with that as a very concrete example in high school. And my chess coach, thankfully, he saw that it was affecting me in a really bad way, because I was pretty good at it, but I had gotten to the point where I didn't like playing. I still liked chess as a game, but playing it was so stressful that I would be sitting at the table, and my body would physically hurt because I would have so much pressure on myself.
Yeah.
And so at one point, my coach was like, look, when I was your age and I was playing in tournaments, he was like, I got an ulcer from all the pressure I put on myself, and it was pointless, and I don't want that to happen to you. Yeah. We had a tournament that weekend, and he's like, look, I know I'm your chess coach. I'm supposed to be teaching you chess, but I care about you, and if you don't want to go to the tournament this weekend, just don't go. And so I didn't go, and I stopped playing chess for years after that. But it's those kinds of situations where you kind of lose sight of the point of why you're doing something. Yeah. And I was doing it to not lose. I wasn't trying to play. I wasn't even trying to win. I was just trying to not lose so I wouldn't feel worse about myself. And it just went on from there with other things. Like, thankfully, I've gotten back to chess, thankfully. It's a wonderful game, but that's only in the past couple of years I've gotten back to it. So it was a long time that I had to step away just to change my relationship with the game. But with Mario Kart, I mean, that was the thing where it's like, oh, well, if I can just get world records in that, then I'll feel better about myself. Yeah. And then I got them, and I didn't feel better about myself. In fact, I was like, oh, now it's even more out of reach because I thought for sure I'd feel better after that.
Sure. Yeah.
And so you can just kind of have so it's like, what's harder than that? I'll just do that, and then I'll feel better. And it just kept going with that. Went with that with entrepreneurship. Oh, well, if I can just get to this amount, then I'll feel better about myself. No. It never works.
No. God is the only thing that can satisfy that, because that's the weight of your worship. Yeah. You're putting the weight of your worship on those things. Yeah. And
well, we were created by him to be satisfied by him. We weren't created by him to be satisfied by something else we can accomplish.
Yeah. Indeed. Another way that people put labels on us is when we are really good at something. Right. And people start putting those labels on us, like, well, you're the best at that.
Good point.
There's like, oh, you're that person. Oh, like,
oh yeah,
you're like, I can even think of you like, oh, well, Dave's the best speedrunner I know, so he has that pressure now.
Right. Yeah, and that makes things not fun. Yeah. Oh
man, but so I don't know if you listener are identifying with some of this, but I really encourage you to take the time and just wipe those sticky notes off of you, because that's all they are.
It's good.
They might be written in Sharpie, but they are written on a sticky note that will fall off. That the adhesion will break.
Yeah.
And it won't, and you'll just see them fall like autumn. So.
Yeah, I think that's a good point that you made about, like if someone's like, oh yeah, that person is the best at this, then whether they wanted to claim that or not. Yeah. Now that pressure is there, and that kind of remove a lot of the enjoyment. Yeah. Or a lot of whatever the reason was why they did that thing. Yeah.
Well, it's easy. You make assumptions about a person and be like, oh, well, they must love that, so they must do that all the time. And that's all they can do.
Sure. Right. That too. Yeah.
Yeah. A lot of layers there.
Yeah.
Well, let's get into some of these questions there, which we're kind of already covering already.
Sure.
So the first question we got here, how often do you game with other people in person? 10 being all the time, 6 being sometimes, and 1 being never. So how often do you game with other people in person?
Oh, man. I mean, probably a 6 or a 7, right?
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. I'd say 7, yeah.
Okay. I would put myself at a 6.
Maybe I need to be 6 then.
No. Because I assume about you that you're pretty connected with other gamers, and you're hanging out all the time with other gamers.
I mean, not that much these days, but I mean, however much you do, that's probably where I'm at.
Okay, so, well, Dave, let's get this to a 9.
there we go.
A 9 or a 10.
Yeah,
let's work on that.
Right.
All right, our next question: do you have people you can confide in? 10 being I do, 1 being I don't.
I'm 10 for sure. Yeah.
10, you do?
Thankfully, yeah.
Okay. I am still working on. I put myself at a 7. I'm a hard guy to get to know.
The mystery man.
I gotta put myself out there. I gotta be a little bit more vulnerable on that. So.
Word.
Well, dude, I'm glad you got people you can confide in. Maybe you can introduce me to. Okay, would you be willing to be accountable to someone? 10, I could do that. 1, I don't want to.
I think I'm at a 8 for that, because
Okay.
I think in general I want to be, but I get paranoid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would put myself as 8 as well.
Mm-hmm.
And accountability is hard.
Yeah.
Definitely had seasons of it where it was really good, and then it
Sure.
falls off. And I think maybe there could be an approach of just like realizing that it does come in seasons and just adapting to that somehow. But I don't know how to do that. Viewer, listener, if you got some thoughts on that, please post that in the comments. I'd love to know.
Yeah, definitely.
Some ways that you found ways to be accountable in your relationships.
Yeah.
Our next question, talking about the labels here. How many labels have you put on yourself? 10. 10 being not many. Because I have to think, because in the editing, like I reversed that for the longest time.
Oh, right.
Like, oh man, I got to fix that. That's not right. Yeah. So 10 being the highest score, being that you don't have many labels on yourself, or 1, I'm covered.
Is there a 0? I'm a 1 for sure. Yeah.
We didn't talk about the negatives on it.
I gotta work. I got a long way to go on that still.
All right.
For sure.
So you feel you were covered in labels that you put on yourself to be.
Yeah.
Would you?
I at least have better awareness of it now, for sure.
I think you do.
Than I used to.
You're talking about it, yeah.
But there's a lot of still, the adhesion is still there, or maybe I'm just holding on to them.
Is there any that you want to share?
Sure. I mean, I think one thing is, and I've only realized this recently why it's uncomfortable, but like when people ask about my work in game development and in software development, that's one of those things where like I feel like understandably people have this picture of what that means, and I don't necessarily want to be that picture, but at the same time I do see myself as a game developer. I do see myself as a software programmer, and but I think that like I still feel pressure from that. Not that people intend for that, of course, but I hate that feeling. So that's one example.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean it's still good to claim things about yourself, to like like I have to think of like flying right now. Just like I think of myself as a pilot, even though I'm a student pilot, and it helps me with some of my confidence.
Yeah.
Because there was also a point like with landing the plane, because you have to take off and land a whole bunch, and early on, like it finally clicked for me. Just like I would get into my flare or close to the flare, and like realize I'm giving up. Like I'm no longer trying to fix it. I'm just giving up.
So that's the confidence kind of thing. Yeah.
Yeah. So I realized like, no, I'm a pilot. I'm going to fly it all the way to the ground.
Nice.
Yeah. Which was a big connector for me on the flying side. So.
Well, that's a good point. I hadn't thought of it that way. Yeah. It's good.
Well, I think you kind of touched on it as well with the game developer stuff, because our next question is, how many labels have other people put on you? 10 being not many, 1 being I'm covered, or 0 being...
yeah. I'm either a 0 or 1 there for sure. Yeah, I definitely at least get the sense that I'm covered with that too.
Well, I imagine as a game developer, there's a lot of assumptions made.
Yep. For sure.
Yeah. It's like, do you work for Epic Games?
Right. Yeah.
Because
it's not a bad assumption, but at the same time, it's like, it's such a constant question.
Do you work on Fortnite?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I don't. Not that game.
Well, but you did make a game.
Yeah, I made a few games.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Although it's funny, I mean, I do see myself as a developer, but I think I have more value in my mentoring of other people than I have in my own work. Like, I have a couple developers I mentored early on. I saw one of their games. They're at a larger studio now, but one of their games on the front of Metacritic. I'm like, oh my goodness, that's crazy. So, but yeah, I mean, I've gotten a lot more fulfillment out of that. Like, I don't enjoy releasing new things. I don't enjoy updating people with new updates. Like that to me is no fun at all.
Yeah.
But I do like working on things and, discovering new ways mechanics fit together and things like that. And I like exploring, how classic arcade design principles can come into the modern era. But I get way more fulfillment from mentoring, and that was actually a label that was put on me as a mentor. I kind of fell into that, but I've always really valued my mentors. They've been, invaluable to my life, and not just in work, but just in life in general. These are people I can count on. So, I think that's a label that was put on me that I've really come to really value, and I'm glad it was put on me.
Yeah, I'd like to think that's even a bit of a God writing that on your heart, because it's really akin to discipleship.
That makes sense.
Yeah, is what Jesus calls us to, and that's why that you get fulfillment out of it. And I've gotten that as well with audio stuff. I would tell audio techs, it's like, if you're doing this just for sound, you're going to get burned out. Just like you gotta make disciples, mentor, bring someone else along. That's what will make you keep coming back to this.
Right on.
And I think you're finding that with game design.
Yeah, I kind of fell into that. Yeah.
Well, I got to answer the questions about the labels because I didn't. But I would say I'm very much in the covered section of trying to be a creative and artist, and putting all those pressures on me, trying to be a YouTuber, apparently. You know, and the video game guy, I'm the Quake guy, the sound guy,
right,
pilot.
Yeah.
There's all these things that we put on Magic Dave. Even that's a label,
Good point. Yeah. Our usernames. Yeah.
So expectations and just and I have to. And there are days when I'll put those stickers right back on, and it's like I'll try to do them with a safety pin. Try to make them stick.
Yeah.
But it's really coming back to God. I believe you are who you say you are, and I believe I am who you say I am. And that's something you got to come to every single morning.
Sure. Yeah. And maybe afternoon and evening too.
Amen. All right. Hey, we didn't even talk about the custom question, installing a mod. Can you think of a good question that we can insert for a custom question here? Okay. All right. I think I got a question. Are you a graceful loser?
Most of the time. I'd say a 9. Yeah.
A 9? Yeah. Okay. I would like to think I am as well.
Yeah.
Well, we can talk a little about this with Quake. Just I know I can be playing a game with people and I'm be just hanging out, having fun, and then I can turn it on. It's like, okay, I'm going to get serious.
Yeah.
And I can zone in.
Right.
And then I will set like a goal for myself, either to win the match or to get to something or to do something ridiculous. And and so I feel I can turn that on and off. And I think that it allows me to be a graceful loser, that I can celebrate other people's successes if they've really just cleaned the floor with me and like, man, that was great. And almost being a fan of that. Of just like, I'm excited for you.
Right. I think that's really key. Yeah. I think being graceful loser has more to do with how you first enter the game or how you first join the server than the actual outcome.
Yeah.
Because if you're joining, like my thing is I kind of feel bored or disappointed if my opponent isn't able to do their best. Like I have the most fun when everyone's doing like the absolute best they can. Yeah. And I think that kind of matches up with the iron sharpens iron philosophy towards playing games. But I think that I like winning, but there are a lot of cases where I think losing can actually be more beneficial for everybody. I don't like it when I'm not as graceful. The specific circumstance for me, I'm not as graceful when I lose if I think someone is a sore winner, because that kind of sets me off where I definitely get in the I'll get serious at that point. Like one time at the gaming meetup, there was I think it was the Triangle with the gaming meetup, some meetup I was at or a LAN. This kid came who he wasn't like really bad at Smash Brothers, but he wasn't like amazing either. But boy, this kid thought he was great and made it known that he thought everyone else was awful. And at one point I was like, hey, like, we don't talk like that here. You know, this is like all ages. You need to chill out with the language, and you need to, you need to just try to be respectful with the people you're playing with. And he just would not let it go.
Oh man.
And so at one point, another younger guy was there, and he was still new to the group. I mean, this kid was new too, but this kid was new to the group, and he was a little quieter, and he was just getting trash talked to death, and lost the game, of course, because he was all tilted. And I was like, okay, you're gonna play against me next. And I was like, you can pick my character, and I'll show you I won't even die one time. And so I, like you said, I got serious, because I'm like, I can't handle that. But it had more to do with how he was treating other people.
Yeah.
But like, those are the things where it's like, I would have been upset if I'd lost that, you know, because then it's like, then it just kind of validates him. But I used the game as the medium to kind of set it straight. And then he did chill out after that, you know. I wish that it hadn't come to that, but it's like, you know, it worked out. Yeah.
Well, I think I got a sore loser story as well. going back to Quake-rama. We did a 16-player double elimination tournament, Quake II, in a dorm in B Quad over at Kentucky Christian College, and I believe it was Traumatico and Who's Your Daddy was playing I don't know if it was an elimination match or what it was. It was pretty serious. They're on the frag pipe, and it gets tied up. Time winding down, and Traumatico has a rail gun, and he's gotten where the green armor is. You know, the little next to the ladder, and I believe Who's Your Daddy, who was Sean Tanner, had the hyper blaster, and it was knocking him down. We had the death sounds were happening, you know.
yeah.
Stuff, and he's like, oh my God, he's coming around the corner, and he has the hyper blaster just going, turn in the corner.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden the screen goes dark, and the final score pops up.
Oh.
It took a couple of seconds for him to realize what had happened, and Sean had gotten the rail shot off.
Oh man!
And popped him right as he come around the corner.
Yeah. So he didn't know he had the rail, I guess, at that point.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't remember if he did or not. But the next thing that happened, Tanner, Who's Your Daddy, took his chair and threw it out the front door of our quad.
Nice.
And hit the professor's house that was right next door. And the professor called the security. Like, what was going on? Oh, we were just playing a game.
That's all. Just playing. Yeah. Wow.
Well, yeah, that was quite a memory for that. Man, our last question here, I think we've already kind of touched on it. Would you be willing to wipe off all of these labels and let God rewrite them? That's a yes or no bonus question, plus 50. You know, and I want to give a breath for that, because that might be a hard ask for some people. Could be a hard ask for me to think, am I willing to give up the title of Quake II lithium guy or sound guy or pilot, or really, I think a lot of that gets tied to your job. You know, just like you're the best at your thing. Just like, are you willing to let that go?
Yeah.
That's so I would like to think I would say yes to that and let God rewrite those things and wipe those off. So that could be a big ask for somebody.
Yeah, I think it's a yes for me, because I've seen where my life has gone when I've tried to just select for myself. And I mean, I think there are times where the label can be erased and then God can write it there again. So I would rather that be the case.
Yeah.
And it end up being a good thing accidentally than for it accidentally being not so good of a thing.
Yeah. It seems like that might have happened for you with Mentor.
I think definitely. Yeah.
That's a really great example. Hope you have enjoyed this episode, and I'm sure we'll have David. There'll be a Dave back.
At least a Dave.
A Dave.
Clan Dave.
I can almost promise that. There will always be a Dave on this podcast. Thanks for listening. Please get in the comments. Let us know what you think about the things we talked about, and point out the things that we missed, because there's lots of stuff to talk about when it comes to LAN parties. So, and I'm sure this will not be the last time we talk about a LAN party. So, all right. Well, say bye, Dave.
All right. Bye, everybody. Thanks for listening.
Be sure to check out the book, Gaming in the Gospel, on Amazon. Available on Kindle and audiobook. Gaming in the Gospel is produced by Evan Staley with Staley Media. Audio recorded in the NEBTHOS bunker by Magic Dave. Published by NEBTHOS. Welcome home, traveler.